Yo, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Jay.
Yeah, what's up?
Yo, Jay.
Yeah?
Yo, Jay.
Yeah, what's up?
Yo, Jay.
Yo, what's poppin', bro?
How you doing?
I'm doing really good, dude. I'm doing fucking exceptional, especially how quickly I just fucking did that shit.
Impressive. It's like you already knew what we were supposed to do.
Whoa.
It's almost if you if you had done this previously. But that can't be true because the episode just started. So that must be weird.
We had a really optimal frame rate jump in for that part. That was my PB, sub 1 minute. So I'm glad that we were able to get that done. Welcome back to Breath of the Wild. I'm Jay the Zoomy.
And I'm Aden. Hope you enjoyed my intro. It was very epic.
So let me explain. There's a whole 20-minute episode of the series that's never coming out now. And basically, it was me trying to start the target challenge without talking to Cass and actually activating the DLC quest. And not only that. So, like, we spend a good fucking, like...
5 minutes at least.
5 minutes without starting it. Just trying to do it in general. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta go talk to Teba, because I have the Polygon article up, right? And so I fly back to Rito Village and talk to Teba, and Teba brings his bitch-ass bird son with him, and he's like, show my son how to use a bow like a real man. So I'm like, okay. So I do it, and I'm like, is this the challenge? And no. I just showed off and stunned it on some little kid for my own enjoyment, apparently.
And got 20 rupees out of it.
And got 20 rupees out of it. And then I was like, oh, I didn't talk to Cass. So at this point, it had been about 15 minutes.
10.
Around that time. Yeah. And then I talked to Cass, and we get started, and we get the real shit going. We get it going, dude. And then, turns out, oh, I ran out of arrows.
So then you got to go back and get arrows. And at that point, we wasted 20 minutes essentially doing the same damn thing.
It had been 20 minutes. And Aden was like...
The commentary was, like, riveting as well, let me tell you.
And
it
then
was about breakfast food.
Aden was like, Jay, we need to redo this episode. And
so now here we are.
I'm not a fan of redoing episodes. But, I had to agree with the homie. I feel like we would not have put out the best product that we could have. Had we not.
And Lion's Honor Gaming isn't exactly like the stronghold of quality. We very much pride ourselves on just get it out.
Yeah.
That's the main mentality.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be good, just as long as it's out. But in certain occasions, like, if we had put out what we just recorded, nobody would have liked it. And I myself would have hated it. So
I would not have been okay with putting it out.
Yeah.
I would have very much not liked it. And I would have... It just would have, because the whole video would have ended up being like an hour and 12 minutes long or some shit, right?
Right.
Like it would have been far too long to be anywhere near worth it. And so we just...
You would have had to done a ton of editing to even salvage it potentially.
And the wildest thing with that ton of editing that I would have had to do, it would have just been like editing out that 20 minutes that we spent dicking around. So at that point, that's when Aden was like, we should just redo it.
Because you haven't burned enough time yet for it to potentially get good later. So let's just cut our losses and leave early.
Absolutely.
Which is what we did.
Absolutely.
So now we're back doing a pretty interesting wind shrine, I gotta say. A lot of them have been pretty easy for the most part. So it's interesting to like see what they do with the full concept now. Because I feel like a lot of wind shrines, unlike the electric ones, have never been really all that complicated. Quick question, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of stemming off our lost episode, but also something completely different. Like, what are your thoughts on just award shows in general, whether it's Oscars, VGAs, etc.? Obviously this year they're not really going to be as big of a thing just because of all the coronavirus stuff. And that's interesting in and of itself, but like even when they do work and they actually get released as intended and everything like that. Like, what are your general... Oh. Well, there he went.
Yeah, Well,
What are your general thoughts on it on award shows, I guess?
I think they're a great thing and really important in what they are. That being said, I also think that too much emphasis is placed on them by maybe not the the owners of the award show, but the people who watch the award show. So like the Oscars, really
Yeah.
important thing, really great, honoring movies, giving them recognition. Shit, if Parasite hadn't won, probably wouldn't have gotten as popular as it did, because it was already popular, sure, but like it got a lot more popular after winning. So like they're important. That being said, some people take winning an Oscar as the film being good, and some movies just be winning Oscars, like
Right.
like Joker.
It do be winning
And
Oscars.
so it's like, I feel like too many people like just act like Oscar equal good, and also too many people just put too much stake into if a movie gets nominated or not, right? Like, sure, it's cool, and sometimes I believe in Oscar snubs, especially when something lesser takes its place. But like, I also don't think that like every movie that I loved this year should have gotten nominated for an Oscar. I also think it's stupid when Black Panther got nominated for an Oscar, or Joker. But like, I think too many people are like, oh, this movie didn't get nominated for an Oscar, it's awful. Or vice versa, people being like, oh, this movie got nominated for an Oscar, it's amazing. Right? Because that's not true either. And so I feel like it's the same for pretty much any other award where people can be kind of like, it brings like more attention to it when maybe that product didn't need to have that attention brought to it.
I think I agree with you for the most part. I do think that sometimes we're a little harsh on them when, like, by and large, I do think they are a good thing, not only for just like bringing attention, like you said, to films that really deserved it, but it's also, I think, good for the industry to have an award show like this where they can truly like highlight big achievements and films that really like went out of their way to do something impressive, or hell, even a video game to go out of their way and do something really impressive. I think the idea of having an award show even is a good thing, and it brings a lot of recognition to a particular industry or game, and potentially even gets new people involved if you're just a casual fan of those mediums. But like you said, like everything else about it, from the nomination process to the for your consideration campaigns to what people deem even being worthwhile media in the first place, is so like all over the place, and sometimes hurtful as well. There's definitely like, I think a type of movie that does well at the Oscars, and those types of movies are good for sure, but they're not all of what film encompasses. And so I feel like we get into a real bad habit in all sorts of award shows of giving awards to that same type of product. Like, to me, the sign of a really like diverse and interesting award show is if the past couple big winners for Best Picture or Best Actor are radically different from the years prior. And while I think Parasite is one of those films that's like way different from past Best Picture winners, a lot of the time, especially in the past 10 or so years, the Best Picture winner has been basically the same movie over again.
Yeah, it's always, it's like, and sure, the movie's probably good, but generally it's some movie with a political story or some huge influential like message to it.
Drama.
And it's some big drama. Like, if we look back even at the past couple years, it was Green Book in 2018, which was a movie about race relations and shit. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I think there might be a Green Book in it, but I don't know. And then
maybe
that,
even a Blue Book.
Before that was The Shape of Water, which was an interesting film. Not really any political, but like a really like thought-provoking drama. Before that, in 2016, it was Moonlight, which was again a very like a movie trying to make a statement. Before that, it was Spotlight, a literal political like drama. And then before that, it was Birdman, which is very much trying to send a message. And then before Birdman, I think it was because Birdman was 2014. Before that, I'm not sure what the 2013 winner was.
I can look real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and look that up because I know Argo won the 2013 Oscars for 2012 movie, and Argo literally another political movie. So it's like there's definitely an Oscar movie for Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Argo.
It was Argo? Okay.
Yeah.
Argo was probably.
So you got to go back the year before Argo.
So yeah, what won then? The 2012 Oscars.
Year before Argo was The Artist, which was a Hollywood specific film that came out maybe like a month or so before the deadline.
Okay.
It's basically about like Hollywood and art, and it was a black and white film, and it was trying to do a big thing there too.
Okay. But yeah, like it's before Parasite, it was really just like what can we say in this movie and get it nominated. And granted, that's not all a bad thing. I am all for movies having meaning and messages, but I feel like Aiden was saying, sometimes it was passing up better films because of it that were nominated for Best Picture. Like if you were,
I just think it's like it's dishonest to give a same type of movie a Best Picture award when there are other things out there that are still super well executed, but don't like necessarily appeal to a lot of the Oscar voters who vote for the same shit every year.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that leads is movies getting made specifically to appeal to an Oscar crowd and not necessarily films that can actually inspire people or make a huge change or anything like that, because they're built with the assumption that they'll get Oscar glory in the first place.
And the
same is true for Best Actor, Best Actress. Supporting roles are pretty diverse. Best Animated Feature is usually always the same thing. Spider-Verse was the most notable, I think, in a long time. But they all follow patterns and shit, and that's just kind of dishonest because that doesn't represent all of film, and especially not all of video games. Video games are even wilder with that sort of shit, I think. And VGAs also have their own problem of mainly being like riddled with advertisements and being far too long for its own good, and trying to have weird categories like best esports personality, you know, like that type of shit. And even when they try to be inclusive, I believe it was last year's VGAs or something like that, where some of the awards weren't even shown on camera. So like for lesser known genres like RTS and strategy games, we didn't even get to see those. Or if they were briefly mentioned in like a sentence and they moved on. So they could do more advertisements or music shows or spend more time on the quote unquote important awards. Whereas I feel like Oscars, at least, like, for as bad of a rap they get, like, they spend time on every award, even the ones most people don't care about, like screenwriting. Like, nobody in the fucking audience is like, yes, who won best screenwriting? You know, like, no one. Like, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
But the Oscars treats them all like they're equally, like, important and give themselves time to do all
like
of them.
the scary part with the Oscars is that they were going to start giving out awards during commercial breaks too.
It's shitty.
Until they had like a backlash. They were going to start giving out the cinematography and editing awards during commercials. You know, two of the components that make film and differentiate it from theater. Cinematography and editing, two things that can only be done in film. And they were going to start giving those out during commercial breaks.
Like, I get it. It's like 4 hours long. It's a long ass show. Most people don't even like stick to it, but like, if film is important, right, and you're putting a lot of importance on the Oscar, then you kind of have to like follow through on that and really act like that. And if you're gonna put awards, like, not even show them on TV to get the prestige in the first place, then what's the point, right? Like, that's not giving everybody their fair.
And
fair
granted,
chance.
I don't think they should show any awards off camera, but like, if you're going to, don't make it cinematography and editing the two most important things to a film, other than, you know, like the acting and screen. But you get what I mean, right? It's like,
yeah,
the two most important things in a movie that separate it from theater, and give those off screen. Give like fucking sound mixing off screen. Granted, even that award's still immensely popular and important. Yeah. But like, if you're gonna do any off screen, do sound mixing, not like not cinematography and film editing.
So they're weird like that. VGAs was doing a lot of that shit, and that really didn't that really didn't give a good impression, at least from me. And I didn't watch them. I haven't watched them for a long time. Because they're just not like really all that important, like grand scheme. Like they don't mean a whole lot. Like, and I guess the Oscars don't either. But like, the reason the Oscars and the Golden Globes and even the Grammys are as big as they are is because people like us, consumers, put a lot of stock into them, and we value their opinion and their takes on stuff. Whereas I feel like with VGAs, very few people are like actively interested in the award side of things, and usually just come to the VGAs to see, oh, is Nintendo gonna announce a Metroid Prime trilogy there? Like, I heard they're gonna announce a Smash Brothers character. I gotta watch the VGAs. And at that point, you know, we're kind of like missing the point.
Yeah,
altogether.
yeah, and at
Like,
that point,
trying
you
to-
just
you're just E3 again, and E3 isn't an award show, granted, but nobody wants to see more of that. At least I don't.
Speaking of E3,
Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm still so happy E3 isn't happening, dude.
It would have been right around now, or
Yeah.
close to it.
Yeah.
Recording wise, by the time this comes out, who knows? But for us, we're recording this in June, so.
So you guys are curious and praying too. We gotta wait until 1 a.m. for Dinroll to show up.
We waiting on a homie again?
Yeah.
You know how that fared last time. We waited on a homie.
We're at the spot though where we got him last time, so we're fine.
Okay.
But
Alright.
we will have to wait on them. So I guess we'll meet you back then. Oh, it's almost 1 a.m., Aden. It's almost 1 a.m.
Oh shit.
It's almost 1 a.m. Oh my god, there's the king. There he is. Oh my god, Philip J. Fry. What are you doing over there, bro?
He popping out.
You ever watch Futurama, Aiden?
I have. I love that show.
Shit go hard, dude. Shit go hard.
Futurama's great.
Fuck.
Never seen Simpsons in all my life.
Really?
Except for the Simpsons movie, weirdly.
You've never seen a single Simpsons episode?
Nope.
Damn, we're gonna have to change
Saw the
that.
movie when it came out for
Okay.
some weird reason as a birthday gift, but I've never actually seen the show.
Not gonna NGL. That movie kind of slap.
I love the movie, but I never went, let me go watch the show now. Because there's always the thing where it's like, there's too many damn episodes of this shit.
Yeah.
It's like One Piece. I don't got time for
I've
this.
seen a lot of Simpsons episodes, but like, I've never been a huge Simpsons fan still. But like, I've seen a decent amount of Simpsons.
They did shoot Earl in the horn.
We did. Is that what I get? I couldn't remember which one I named him.
I remember this one because it's the one we got pissed off at. So I remember us unstanding Earl.
Look, and we're at 25 minutes, Aiden. How long we recorded the unfinished recording?
Yeah, and we already got 2 of these done. Look at us.
Hell yeah, shrine time.
All right, Earl. See you later, Chief.
I feel like, as much as I have enjoyed this DLC, I feel like it's a little annoying that after doing some complicated and difficult trial, that I'm forced to do a fucking multi-room puzzle shrine as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sound entitled, and granted, most of these shrines are good and well-designed and fun.
A lot of them have been really good, actually.
But
I'm
like-
surprised by the quality.
But like, I really fought a Moldol King and spent like an hour on it and then had to do a shrine.
Yeah. You were not feeling that one.
Because I also think that shrine's kind of poorly designed.
It's unfortunate about that one, but you're right.
So, yeah. Oh shit, more wind shrines, dude. My favorite.
We pop off on some wind shrines.
Oh, I didn't mean to say. I didn't say last shrine. I actually absolutely love that shrine that we completed before this one. The one where I was going through, you know, and you had to do all
tower.
the different showers, shrines. Yeah, that shit was fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
I fuck on some wind shrines, dude. The electricity one's not as much, but
Electricity
Wind
ones can be,
boyos?
the electricity ones can be great too when done properly. Because like the last 2 electricity shrines that we did back in the desert were great. I really like those. It was just the first one was just kind of poo poo stinky caca.
poo poo.
Poo poo stinky. Top 10 king shit. Oh.
Wow. That did not work out.
No.
This looks like fun. Let me tell you, this looks like the craziest kind of timing. Do you do it before, I guess? Or do you do it like right when it hits?
Fuck. Fuck.
The wind passes it.
Yeah,
Minute before
so
it shuts.
yeah, so like
okay.
you gotta put it in, I guess, like, hold on.
Well, it's gonna shut again, and then wait, and then now. No, maybe you got to put it in the other one then.
No, because it'll automatically roll out and get hit by the wind, so you gotta like. I guess it would be, yeah, put it in that one and just hope that it like flies out beforehand. Fuck! Ah!
You might be here a while, everybody. But don't worry, we got the support of Uchipi Katsumaz back this episode. Out here vibing with us. Keeping it real. Miss those boyos. And stasis it again, yeah. Tell that motherfucking wind chime looking ass, shut the fuck up, boyo. Alright, get him to stop. Clean. A little too late.
Fuck!
Yeah, you gotta put it in there a bit earlier.
Oh, wait for the bomb to recharge and then wait for stasis to recharge, because, you know, it takes 3 goddamn years.
Let's do the DLC, he said. It'll be fun, he said. Said it'll be a fun time. Are we gonna do this shit? Just the Big Bang Bazinga idea the whole time.
Oh, I missed the jump, but we're good. We figured it out.
Okay. That's still fucking weird on timing, though.
Yeah.
Even still.
It's a little stupid.
Either way you do it.
I'm gonna have to
Doesn't work
freeze it
well.
again. No. I'm gonna wait for that to come up.
You really do be stopping time, though.
I feel like I feel like freezing the lower platform is the better way to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can absolutely do it with the fan if you wanted to.
It's weird that we thought of the harder way first, though,
Right? And not just
not the easy solution.
That could have saved so much time. Sorry, folks. I'm probably gonna cut a lot of that out, but a lot of my commentary is just me being audibly pissed off at the game.
Oh, we got a Mado emblem, bro. We gotta collect one more.
Oh. Epic gamer moment, dude.
Top 10 PogChamp moments in Breath of the Wild.
Oh, Aden, I forgot to tell you, I got accepted into a university recently.
Oh, not this joke. I'm not. Hold on. Let me take a minute. What university, Jay? What university did you get accepted into?
Poggers University.
Okay, yeah, hold on one sec. Okay, I'm good. I had to scream into my blanket. So if it sounded weird, I was trying to not peak the audio. Really save you guys from listening to my audible screams of terror, you know?
I'm majoring in PogChamp.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. This man's been repeating this joke for the past week or two.
I think it is ridiculously funny.
And every time I forget about it, that's the wild part. Like usually I'm like, oh, what university? And
Homie
then
think Jay the Zoomster just got accepted into a university.
And then I went, oh, not again. This time I remembered. This time I actively went, no more.
There's layers, like an onion.
I don't think there are. It's pretty simple. Like the whole setup and execution.
Well, like, cause you really, is it? Because like,
yes,
you know, like,
Poggers jokes in general don't typically have much thought put behind them. The punchline is you say Poggers.
I
right?
feel like you're underestimating the joke complexity.
Am I?
Because like, sure, you just say.
Well, let's analyze this, right?
Okay.
You open the joke by saying I'm going to a university. Now, if that's all we knew about the joke, let's say you like tragically pass away and don't get to finish it, like you get struck by lightning or something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I would assume could come after a university, even in a joke context, like school of fucking dummy thick boys like me or something, or the school of these nuts. Wouldn't have been creative, but I could at least see it coming.
Yeah.
Right? In no way does the university set up the punchline of Poggers in any way, shape, or form. They're two totally unrelated things. And some people will argue, Aden, well, that's what makes it funny. The fact that it's so random and unnecessary and doesn't work at all. And I get it. That's internet humor in a nutshell. For me personally, though, they don't really connect all that well, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I guess that's fair. I think the complexity goes a lot deeper, though.
In what fact?
Because, like, you know, Poggers, dude.
Yes. I'm well aware of Poggers.
I don't know.
On
dude.
its own, Poggers are great, you know, but in the context of this university joke,
well, like,
it leaves a lot to be desired, I think.
coming up with the university joke and when it happened was purely me laying in bed one night at 5 a.m. trying to go to sleep, and 5 a.m. Zoomster brain just being like, haha, what if I said I was going to Pogger University? And then that's how it happened. And joke's probably just as funny as I thought it was in my head at 5 a.m.
I'm sure. Pogger University, the type of TV show that like some place like Adult Swim's gonna pull off in like the next 5 or so years in an ironic sense. And I'd watch the shit out of a show called Pogger University.
Yeah, I'm the showrunner. So
Okay.
get excited for Pogger University season 2. Get it renewed, everyone. But like,
Oh,
I feel
shit.
like Pogger University would be unironically fucking awful, because I feel like they would they would try to like tap into like that type of humor, but it would just be like 40-year-old bald executive producers who have no fucking
Right.
clue exactly what it is that makes Pogger funny.
That's what I'm saying. It's like 5 years from now.
Yeah.
So not relevant currently, but 5 years after the joke, eventually that's what becomes a thing. Like, I could picture Seth MacFarlane and those boyos, and the Family Man, try to do an adult comedy series about Pogger University.
Can I just say I hate adult cartoon sitcoms?
They're all like a unique kind of awful that I loved as a kid, and really only as a kid. You know, even when I became a teenager, I'm like, oh, this is just bad. Like, why did I like this as a kid? And I liked it
Yeah.
because it was edgy, and that was the answer.
Yeah, I just don't I don't like it, cuz also, and like, sure, not all the writing is awful for them, but like, why do they just have consistently disgusting art styles?
Yeah. Yeah.
And not just Big Mouth. Big Mouth is gross for sure, but like,
Shout out to our good friend Carrie Knight, who on season 2 of Big Mouth right now.
but
Shout out to
like,
him.
Bob's Burgers is just disgusting to look at.
It's very unappealing to look at.
There's so, even Family Guy is unappealing, and American Dad is unappealing. And
Well, it's like they all have the same style now, it feels like.
yeah, but then you get something just god awful and atrocious, like, again, like Big Mouth or Bob's Burgers. Those are two shows I can just not get into because of how awful the art style is. And even to talk about a show that I'm sure is good, and I'm sure it's actually fantastic. I've heard it is from people who I watch and Zach, BoJack Horseman.
Yeah.
I hate how that show looks.
It looks like a YouTube animatic, right? Like, that's not...
It looks really
You know?
bad.
I'm sure it's fine. Again, not hating on any
Oh
of these
no,
shows
no,
at
I'm
all.
sure the show's fantastic, but like, I just hate that kind of like genre, I guess, of just adult animated sitcom, and it's like, it's just bizarre. Getting into like talking about Adult Swim, and in a recent show that I've watched that airs on Adult Swim, that being Rick and Morty.
We gonna do this? You really gotta open that can of worms? Online's Honor Gaming.
I really, really want to talk about the Rick and Morty episode.
Uh-huh. Do you now?
Okay.
Because once we start this train, we can't go back, right? Like once we say these things about what we're about to talk about, which I know, I experienced this with Jay. We can never go back.
I
Like
know
this is
the stakes
this
are
is one of
higher
those
than
like
ever.
yeah, even more than our gameplay sometimes. Like you remember the maze episode where Jay had to like glide through the maze and how stressful that was. This is about to be that like times 10. So
Okay.
I hope y'all are ready for this.
But like,
because we may be canceled after this. This hot take we got coming your way.
The Rick and Morty Pickle Rick episode is hot garbage.
It kind of do be.
It's
poo poo caca.
It's really
Stinky.
fucking bad. And because this happened, I'm gonna explain the backstory of why we watched it. Basically, Aiden and I finished watching the first Back to the Future movie, and we're
Which
just
Rick and Morty
chilling.
was inspired by, actually.
Yeah,
Doc
yeah.
and Marty was the inspiration. So
And
that's
we're just
funny.
chilling, doing really nothing, coming up for conversation starters. Because sometimes Aiden and I just get in calls where no one talks for like 20 minutes, which is fine. I don't mind it. But like I was talking about, and I was just like, wouldn't it be funny if I just ask Aiden if he's seen Rick and Morty? And so I'm like, yo, you ever watch a Rick and Morty episode? Because Zach said he was editing and watching Rick and Morty. And Aiden's like, yeah, I've seen some Rick and Morty. And I've never seen Rick and Morty. So I was like, that's cool. I'm going to watch the Pickle Rick episode and make a video about it. And he was like, no, you're not. And I was like, yes, the fuck I will. I'll watch it. And he was like, pull the episode up then. Fucking watch it. And so we get on HBO Max and we watch
Great streaming service,
the
by
Pickle
the way.
Rick
Wonderful.
episode. I love HBO Max so much.
Wonderful platform.
But we watched the Pickle Rick episode.
We sure did.
And it fucking sucked.
We hated it. And so I'm sure there's going to be two responses to this. There's going to be the people who watch this episode and who go into the comments like, tip. Rick and Morty was always bad. All season 3 is bad. The show was bad and stinky. This is not a hot take. I agree with all of this. And for those people, like, cool, we probably fit more on your side than we do the other camp. But like, let's just say we hadn't seen Rick and Morty prior or after. This is a one episode isolated experience. So like, the rest of the show might be great. But then there's going to be this second camp of people. And I don't know if there's anybody like this in our Discord in particular, but there could be. Who knows?
There's Zach, so.
There's going to be the second group of people who go, Rick and Morty is the greatest family sitcom ever. It breaks so many boundaries, and it's so deep and super funny. And the Pickle Rick episode is a monument to adult animation. You guys can't hate it. It's one of the best of all time. And so, to that camp specifically, the Pickle Rick episode, even outside the context of the rest of the show, does not hold up at all. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm just gonna start with the main one. Show ain't funny. I'm sorry. Like, we laughed maybe once, and it's in the first minute when Rick reveals himself to be a pickle. That's funny. It's a cool gag. Morty's reactions really do sell it. I was laughing, having a good time.
Yeah, we
And
both
then the intro
enjoyed it.
starts. And then the intro starts, and you realize, oh, they're gonna do the pickle joke the entire episode long. And once you realize that that's a thing, and that the episode is literally gonna be pushing the pickle thing for the entirety of the episode, man, the stuff they come up with is not only not funny and not interesting, but just flat out bizarre and disgusting. And it's a whole like half of the episode. The pickle thing you thought was a funny gag? No, it's a whole half of this 22-minute animation right here. So for starters, right, like Rick and Morty in this episode has already failed as a comedy. The second half, and I'm gonna let Jay explain this one, the B plot, the more serious angle of Rick and Morty, the stuff that makes it quote deeper than a lot of other animated shows of its type. We didn't like that part either, but I'm gonna let Jay explain that part.
It's awful because and again, this is coming from two people who have never really seen the show outside of like this episode. So maybe this family drama shit makes more sense in the context of the show. But like, man, was that the most boring fucking family drama I've ever seen any show put out. And like, just
this is coming from a man who watches CW shows.
yeah,
right. Like
yeah. So I know family drama. I know, I know about that a lot. And it just there was a part at the end of the episode where Rick reveals he did this.
Still as a pickle, by the way.
Still as a pickle. Rick was like, I didn't come here because I don't want to go to therapy because I don't believe it. And that's interesting. That's cool. I like that kind of idea. But then the therapist just like starts going on for like 5 minutes talking about the deep intricacies of therapy and how it reveals how he's failed as a human being and how like it's important to the human psyche. And I swear she's just making shit up. I swear these are not actual words coming out of this woman's mouth. It is the most pseudo deep dumb intellectual bullshit that I've heard.
It happens so quickly you can't even really hear it, and then like because the episode is almost over, it doesn't really have time to like really explore any of that, and so we just go to the car, and we get a pretty heartwarming ending. I will say, like the beginning and the end of the episode is fine, but like they very clearly had a message about therapy, but because they dedicated half the episode to the pickle shit and other really dumb jokes, like that theme isn't properly explored. And I think that's what like left me frustrated more than ever, was like, this is an interesting idea. And I've seen like other shows tackle this before, and having Rick and Morty tackle it might be interesting, especially because Rick's a scientist, right? Like he didn't necessarily believe in a lot of this stuff, but they don't have time to really flesh it out. And so the therapist just has to say a bunch of random shit in like 30 seconds. And she speaks so fast, and you're like, well, I guess that's all we're going to get about this. And it just feels undercooked, unfortunately. And so both halves, the comedy half and the more serious B-plot half, neither worked on their own. And cutting between them is a whole nother issue altogether.
I agree. Unrelated to Rick and Morty, this shrine was fucking epic.
I like this shrine.
This shrine was dope as shit. Anyway, yeah, Rick and Morty bad. That episode fucking blows. I have not been that frustratingly disappointed in anything in a while.
Yeah.
That is...
And it had potential, but like... And it was funny for the first minute or so, but damn, does it just drag for a long time. And again, haven't seen the rest of the show. Who knows in context if it's funny or not, and if other episodes are better. But like... From our perspective, this was the episode that really got the show popular. This was the episode everybody talks about. Pickle Rick is all over the merchandising and all this sort of stuff. So it's like not surprising that me and Jay picked this episode, because it's the one that everybody talks about. And if a popular episode like this isn't good, I don't even want to know what the bad episodes of Rick and Morty are supposed to be like. Because that just sounds awful if it's anything like what we just witnessed.
I don't want to be hyperbolic, Aiden. And I've said this to you already. This is one of the worst episodes of TV I've seen in general. It is just because it's kind of got that issue where it's got potential too. So it's not a bad premise. It's just such a frustrating episode of television. And maybe I'm giving it too much shit, but I don't think I am. I've seen some bad TV episodes, and this isn't as bad as some of the worst I've seen, because I've seen some garbage, but like
it's short at least. Like
it's in terms of fucking up a premise and having actual like skill to do something interesting and just having so many fundamental flaws. It's one of the worst episodes of TV I've seen in the past couple of years. It's we finished and my first words are, wow, what a 4 out of 10 episode.
Yeah.
So many times Aiden kept going, it's still going. It's still going.
It's not the worst I've ever seen, not the worst of TV, but for like how hyped this episode was and how funny I've heard this show has been before. Like to be delivered that kind of quality in an episode that like really isn't that far removed from fucking Family Guy, all things considered. Like it's trying more than Family Guy, but it's not like delivering too much far past a standard Family Guy episode. Like I was just disappointed more than anything. Not to say it was bad, but it was just frustrating and disappointing.
I just feel like, I don't know. The whole episode felt like a Family Guy cutaway gag. It felt like one of them would have been like fucking Peter would be like, hey Brian, imagine if I was a pickle. And it cuts away to him going, look, I turned myself into a pickle, and then he fights rats in a pickle with animatronic arms or something, and then it ends. Like a 2-minute cutaway gag. stretched into 22 minutes of episode. And I don't know. I'm really disappointed by Pickle Rick.
I was too. So hopefully the two camps that I described understand where we're coming from. We don't think the show is the worst thing ever created. We also don't think that like we'll probably be watching much more of it. So for you super fans and super haters who wanted a bit more or less out of this Rick and Morty rant, sorry to you all. But this was just really our own personal experiences with it. And I thought it was funny that we even did it in the first place.
Oh, it's funny that it happened.
So that's why we brought it up, or Jay brought it up, because it's just funny that I got him to watch Pickle Rick.
Like, it's funny as fuck.
As quote-unquote people who like good TV and good media, the funny haha joke aspect of it quickly wore away, and it became very clear that what we were in for was not something really all that great. But I'm not going to judge the whole show for it, you know? Maybe it was just one bad episode. Who knows?
Yeah, I would be interested in watching more of the show, but like, I also
didn't leave a good impression.
I also don't really be caring enough to watch more. I feel like I'm not sure if that's something that I'm honestly really that into, is watching more Rick and Morty. Just because the first episode that I saw of the show was that much of just a disappointment. And like, granted, I've heard the Pickle Rick episode isn't that great, so I wasn't expecting like genius, but like, shit, I was expecting a little bit better, not gonna lie. I was expecting
like Cannon literally shot at the ground 4 times.
I was expecting something that warranted being put in the trailers as much as it was.
Yeah.
And granted,
this was their headlining episode of season 3, right? Like,
granted, haha, turn myself into pickle joke funny, like, again at the beginning. But like, it's just the most unfunny shit by the end of it.
And I guess it should be like, we should be clear in the fact that like, you guys have watched Breath of the Wild before. We're not saying at all that this like type of humor is above us. Like, we very clearly have laughed at dumber shit in this own series. Like, you know, the type of shit that makes me and Jay laugh. We like a lot of that stupid shit. And like, we just talked about the SpongeBob movie and how we loved that. And that movie has a lot of like, you know, not highbrow humor, but it's still really funny and really surreal and interesting. So I feel like the potential here is high, and we probably would have liked Rick and Morty on any other episode. But if we weren't even laughing all that much in the first place, like, you know, something's wrong, because me and Jay will laugh at anything. Like, we're not hard to please.
Not at all. I mean, fucking Zach and I watched a shit ton of American Pie movies and had no issues with it. So if I'm having issues with a Rick and Morty episode where the protagonist turns himself into a fucking pickle, you know it must have fucked up.
Yeah, that's all my epic Rick and Morty thoughts for today.
So now we're gonna talk about why this boss fight fucking epic.
Hell yeah, bro.
So I really love these boss challenges because it really makes you refocus on it. Cause like, I not gonna lie, I had some issues in the episode, but like, all things considered, I cheesed the Thunderblood Ganon fight with the Master Sword. I beat that quicker than I should have been able to. So like, all things considered, I did way better on that one than I should have when we first played it. So it's cool to kind of be put into into an element that you're not used to, and have to think things through. I really
get a second
like that
chance of redemption
aspect.
with these guys.
It's really dope. That being said, I'm out of my sword now, so I guess we're just gonna have to finish this guy off with arrows. Luckily, they give us 100 arrows, and these arrows do a good bit of damage on this homie. So we're gonna be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But this fight's really cool. I don't know. All of these fights are really cool when you're put back in your element. Ironically, do you want to know what the hardest one of these are for me? It's Water Blight.
Oh, really?
Water Blight fucks me over when given a specific set of weapons, and
interesting.
And like a specific set of food.
That should be interesting.
Water Blight gives me pancreatic cancer.
Because it's interesting because like we did Thunderblight in the main game, and then we did the DLC fight almost immediately after.
Yeah,
And Windblight was the next one, and I suppose we're gonna do the fire one next and stuff. So like, last time we even fucked with Waterblight was so early in the series, and I remember we had little issue. We had some issues with it just because it was early in the game. But we still like did pretty well. So it'll be interesting to see like what the hard version of that is supposed to look like.
I agree. I think it'll be really freaking cool,
Because it's been a hot second since we've done that fight.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to do that I planned to do ever since we decided we were going to do the DLC was I wanted to do the bosses in reverse order that we did them. Just because I thought it would have been pretty cool to do.
I have to agree.
Windblight got the duty kicked out of him, dude. Poo-poo duty stinky. That was
We
dope.
did all of the Von Meadow stuff in one episode.
Yeah, hour-long episode, sure, but I'm gonna cut out a lot of traveling and such.
Sure.
So, woo! This is DLC. How you liking the DLC so far, Aiden? Now that we're halfway through it.
It's a lot more involved than I thought it would.
Okay.
I thought it was like when you told me we go back to refight the boss. I thought you meant we go back in the Divine Beast and fight the boss. I didn't know about like the other side quest shit that you have to do before you can even get to that.
Oh yeah.
You just told me we redo the boss fights. I'm like, that should be pretty quick and easy. I didn't know about the rest of this, but it's been surprising. I've really enjoyed a lot of the shrines, and the boss fights have been fun. And while there have been certain hiccups along the way, I'm still a really big fan of everything I've seen in the pack so far.
I think it definitely could be considered as bloating the length of the game, but like the shrine and stuff and everything is still really fun to me. And I've liked all of the challenges. Sure, some of them can be kind of difficult to get to, but like I don't know, I enjoy it. Granted, a lot of the interesting things of it is that it kind of fills out like backstory for the champions, and we're skipping those cutscenes. Yeah. But like, it is what it is. I think they're fun challenges, and the final dungeon is well worth it. I'm so excited to do that on the series.
All right, we still gotta do a final one after each individual one, don't we?
Yup.
Forgot about that.
I love that last dungeon. It is superb, and that final boss fight, ooh, brilliant. So yeah, get hyped, guys. I'm really hyped, Aiden. We are so close. We have 2 more of these, and then a dungeon episode, and then the finale. Like,
oh, the pre-finale one too.
Yeah, that one. But like, you get what I'm saying? Like, we are ridiculously close.
Yeah, we're not too far. It's just wild because like a lot of Breath of the Wild we kind of breeze through fairly quickly, so it's wild that like we're spending a lot more time toward the end, especially. You think this is when it would let up, but no, this is like actually the most interesting and toughest shit we faced yet.
I really enjoyed this last episode, dude. It was great.
A lot of fun.
Had some trouble in the shrine, but we're good now. So next episode, y'all already know what it be. Rudanya.
Big lizard boyo, which at the time of recording this, that's the next episode to go out, is our original run through of this. So give you an idea of how far apart we are.
Yeah.
Pretty long time, like 20 episodes from what's going up to what we're actually recording.
But you know, that just means that's a good thing. That just means we have the entire series recorded. Like, that's dope, really, when you think about it.
When you really think about it,
it's kind of the coolest thing on the planet. Join Aden and Blue Couch Productions. I'm gonna...
Don't burn alive. That's very unepic.
So, in the next episode, we're gonna do all the Rudanya shit. So, hope you all enjoyed this episode. I had a really great time doing it. We'll see you all in the next one as we get one step closer to beating not only the Champions Ballad DLC, but the game as a whole. Peace.
Bye.